Hello everyone, welcome to Introduction to Deep Learning. My name is Faisal Utaibi and I am one of the TAs in this course. In today's lecture, I will be giving a very brief introduction about the course and its logistics. Please make sure that you review the slides carefully because they contain very significant information of what to expect from this course. They are also a great reference point of the course policies, so please make sure that you review them. The outline of this presentation is as follows. First, I will start with a brief introduction about the significance of neural networks and how they significantly change many tasks across different domains in recent years. Then, I will be highlighting the objectives of this course as well as its syllabus. I will also cover the course logistics, number of assignments, quizzes, projects, and the grades of each component. So let's start with the introduction. Neural network is a subset of machine learning that recently have become one of the prominent driving areas in pattern prediction, recognition, and analysis problems. Nowadays, people in different fields such as physics, linguistics, chemistry, and etc. utilize neural nets to address, analyze, and solve problems. In fact, neural networks have established the state of the art in many problems and exceeded previous benchmarks by large margins. They also have outperformed humans in many tasks. Although I don't know the type of problems you are interested in, but I'm sure you will find the neural networks applicable to use in most of them. We will go over some of the amazing tasks accomplished by neural networks in the last few years. Let's start with speech recognition. Speech recognition task was known to be a very complicated task before the advent of neural networks. Since people have different ways of pronouncing words and have different accents, it was very challenging to accurately recognize speech and convert it to, let's say, text. However, in 2016, Microsoft AI reported that by employing neural nets, they had managed to beat the performance of human transcriptionists. They built a network that can accurately convert human speech to a high quality transcript. Also, when you nowadays look at applications such as Siri and Amazon Alexa, which in fact utilize neural nets, you notice how they recognize your speech very well. Another famous application of neural networks is machine translation. If you had used, for example, Google Translate over the years, you would notice that suddenly its performance has significantly improved. And the reason is because they switched to use neural nets. Before neural networks, when you use Google Translate to translate an English sentence to a French and then translate the French to English, you will end up having two different English sentences. Such inconsistency in machine translation has shrunken significantly because of the use of neural nets. Another important application of neural networks is image segmentation and recognition. In the shown image, there are several objects such as humans, bikes, bags, and buildings. As can be seen, not only neural networks were able to identify these objects, but also label them correctly. Despite the object's physical characteristics such as size and shape, neural nets managed to recognize them. Another significant application of neural nets is image recognition with moving objects. This is a snapshot of an interesting video that you can look at when you go to this URL, which in fact I highly recommend you to do that because it shows you how neural networks can successfully detect cars in motion as well as accurately identify their brands. This application is used in various domains such as robotics and autonomous vehicles. Another breakthrough of neural network is in gaming applications. Games are known to be standard tests for AI as they require intellectual thinking from players in order to perform well. For instance, chess was used to test computer intelligence. However, since we have been able to perform well in chess long time ago, we now use more complicated games such as Go, which is currently the benchmark for computer intelligence. In 2015, Google AlphaGo, which is a neural network system, beat the 18 times world champion of Go, Lee Sedol. This was part of Google's challenge called DeepMind Challenge, where AI was able to win against world champion in the Go game, which is to me very fascinating. Another interesting application is image captioning, where a neural network is given images and generate captions that describe these images. For instance, when you look at the fifth image, it says girl in pink dress is jumping in air. The neural network was able to generate a very descriptive caption where it was able to identify the girl's dress color and the type of activity being performed. Also, another fascinating thing which came out last year is how GAN's generative adversarial networks were able to generate images that look like real human faces of people who did not even exist. I recommend you to visit thispersondoesnotexist.com to see more of these images. Adversarial networks can generate not only faces but also imaginary fashion models as well. When you look at these images, it is very difficult to determine whether they are real or generated by a system. In summary, neural networks have been used and proven successful in many other types of problems. They have been used in different fields such as arts, astronomy, healthcare, and the list go on. They are used even in predicting and forecasting stock markets. Also, when you look at it from market perspective, the demands for neural network expertise is increasing significantly because many gigantic companies such as Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Tesla, Facebook, and others look for people with such expertise to join their groups and improve their products. Having the deep learning skills is very imperative for those of you who will be looking for internships and jobs in the future. It definitely makes you stand out among other applicants in the job market, given the huge benefits and capabilities of deep learning. Now I will be talking about the course objectives and its syllabus. The objective of this course is to understand how neural networks work, comprehend the models that perform the previously mentioned tasks, build them from scratch, and to get you familiar with some of the terminology that you can find in this URL. Additionally, the course goal is to make you capable of designing, building, and training networks for various tasks. With that being said, taking only this course will not make you an expert, but will definitely prepare you to have a set of skills and foundations required to guide you in this trajectory. Also, to make you able to utilize deep learning architectures in your field of interest. Broadly speaking, in this course, you will be exposed to conceptual ideas and foundations as well as practical ones. In the conceptual level, we will begin with historical perspectives of how neural networks were discovered and the type of intuitions that led to the neural network development. We will also describe different types of neural networks and their underlying ideas. You will be exposed to the learning paradigm in neural networks, which is similar to the ideas of machine learning but also differs uniquely in its own ways. We will show you different types of training neural networks, how a neural network is trained theoretically, its various concepts, and the practical issues that you will most likely encounter during training and how to handle them. Throughout this course, you will be introduced to several neural networks architectures and their applications. You will also read several papers and might implement the proposed models in those papers. In this course, we will maintain a balance between theory and implementation. We will not go too deep into the math, so we will ensure that you understand enough concepts and be able to convert them to a reality. Since this is a neural network course, not a programming one, we will try throughout the semester to avoid making you do more implementations than understanding the concepts of neural networks. In the practical level, you will get familiar with different training techniques. You will build and design different neural network architectures during the assignments that you will be having. Also, you will implement the cutting-edge solutions for some of the problems. You will read papers and implement their models in order to pass the A cutoff in some of the assignments as well. Overall, our target is to ensure that by the end of this course, you will have all the necessary skills and background in neural networks to start on your own and be able to use them in your research or field of interest. So the topics that we will be covering in details are some basic network formalisms such as multi-layer perceptron. We will also be covering convolutional networks, recurrent networks, and Boltzmann machines. Also, we will be covering some advanced formalisms. We will talk about generative models such as variational autoencoders, adversarial models such as GANs, self-attention paradigms, and transformers networks. We will also touch upon various topics and applications in different fields. For instance, we will talk about computer vision and how image recognition is performed, text processing and how to model and generate language, machine translation and how to perform sequence-to-sequence modeling. We will also talk about modeling distributions and generating data, reinforcement learning and games, and speech recognition. In fact, homework 4 will be about how to convert speech to text, which you will see that it is a challenging task to do. In terms of reading, there is a list of books and papers that are available on the course webpage. We recommend you to read them as they explain the ideas that we will be covering throughout the semester in more details. Our materials do not follow a specific book or reading as we pick different things from different sources. However, we give you these resources so you can refer to them if you need to go deeper into the ideas we present. Now I will be talking about the course logistics. By now, I expect you all know that the instructor of this course is Professor Peksha. This is his email address and phone number. For this course, there are roughly 15 TAs across different campuses, including Pittsburgh, Kigali, and Silicon Valley. The TA's email addresses can be found in the course website. If you run into any issues related to the deep learning course, such as quizzes or assignments, please approach first your local TAs and post in Piazza. If the problem is not solved, then you can approach other TAs and they will be able to help you. Also, we will conduct office hours weekly, and you can find more details about the time of these hours on the course website. Each day, there will be office hours to help you in this course. Also, please check the course webpage regularly because we will use it to post the course materials, assignments, recitation files, deadlines for submissions, and updates. We will also use Piazza to announce any course-related updates. For lectures, because of COVID-19, the class will be entirely online. The lectures will be streamed live over Zoom, so make sure that you get yourself familiar with Zoom before the course's first lecture. Also, there will be recordings of these lectures, which will be posted at the end of each lecture. You can find the links for the live streaming lectures and their recordings in the course webpage, as well as in Piazza. It is very imperative to view the lectures even if you think you understand the topic well enough, because your grades will depend on viewing them. Without viewing the lectures and understanding all the information provided, you will definitely struggle during quizzes and most likely lose points. Also, we will monitor attendance in each lecture. I will talk about this more in just a few seconds. Regarding the additional logistics of the course, we will be having discussions on Piazza about neural networks ideas, assignments, projects, and any questions that might come up. I recommend you to post on Piazza when you have issues related to the course. Also, I recommend you to go and answer questions if you have solved an issue someone is posting about. Sometimes you get stuck into a bug that takes most of your time, and it would be very helpful if you can find posts of others who have encountered the same issue and solved the problem. Since the project and the second part of the assignments require computational power and resources, we will distribute 3 Amazon tokens throughout the semester, each of which will be $50. Initially, upon the completion of Homework 0, you will get the first $50 token, and you will get the additional ones as you progress in the course. The total budget for this course is $150. These tokens will be ideally used to run your models on Amazon GPUs, so please use them carefully and do not overuse them. We know from previous semesters that these tokens will be sufficient to do your assignments and projects. More of how to optimize the usage of these resources will be discussed in Piazza. Back to the lecture attendance. So in this course, we will track attendance. You must either be in the live streaming class or watch the recordings that will be uploaded to Mediatek. If you are watching the videos on Mediatek, we can track who watched what lecture and for how long they have been watching. If you are in the live streaming class, we assume you attended the entire class. The attendance and the numbers will be reported to you to inform you about how much attention you are giving to this course. It is recommended to have more than 70% of attendance. After all, you are taking this course to learn. Word of advice: just attend the lecture and watch the recording. It is totally there to maximize your benefits in terms of understanding the materials very well and total performance in the course. Otherwise, you will lose points in quizzes and assignments, which is not what we want to happen. The lecture schedule is available in the course web. However, I want to caution you that the schedule for the later half of the semester might change given that the schedules of some guest lecturers are fuzzy. We will make announcements when this happens, but make sure you check the websites regularly. Similarly, there are guest lectures that will be held by distinguished professors in the area, as well as others we have in mind. Once we determine those lectures, we will make sure that you will know about it in advance, so you can prepare for these lectures. In terms of recitations, we will have 13 recitations. We might have the 14th one if you guys are up for it. However, towards the end of the semester, we will decide if there will be one or not. The recitations will cover implementation details and basic exercises in notebooks. Concepts will be explained and discussed, as well as their implementations will be demonstrated. Whenever you have an assignment that is about to be released, we discuss how to start this assignment in the recitation. Also, if there is no assignment coming up on that week, We use recitation to demonstrate different ideas that have been discussed in the course. It is very crucial to attend if you want to get the maximum out of this course. Each recitation topic will be listed on the course schedule. Again, I strongly recommend you to attend all recitations even if you think that you know the recitation topic. Typically, the recitations will be held every Friday of the semester. Similarly to the lectures, recitations will be live streamed using Zoom and also recorded. The recordings will be posted on Mediatek, so make sure to watch the recitations if you cannot attend the live stream. For exact details about the recitations dates, topics, and time, please check the course webpage. Now I will be talking about the fun portion of the course. Your performance in the course will be evaluated using three criteria. The first criterion or test is the weekly quizzes. You will also have throughout the semester 4 assignments, each of which includes 2 parts. Finally, you will have a team project about which you have to submit a written report and make a presentation. Each of these 3 types of tests will be discussed in details next. Let's start with the weekly quizzes. For the weekly quizzes, each quiz will have 10 multiple choice questions. The questions will be about topics that have been covered on both slides and lectures that week. That's why you must both attend or watch the lectures and read the slides beforehand in order to perform well in the quizzes. Only reading slides will make you lose points in the quizzes. The quizzes will normally be released Friday before midnight and closed Sunday before midnight. This sometimes might change, and when it does, we will let you know ahead of time, so don't panic. Overall, you will be having 14 quizzes, the best 12 of which will be considered for grading. This is to accommodate any circumstances that might prevent you from working on some of the quizzes. So you basically can skip up to 2 quizzes, although I personally recommend you to take all of them since they are designed carefully to strengthen your understanding of the concepts and ideas discussed in the course. Typically, online slides have a lot more of information than is presented in the class. As a result, you will find quizzes include questions about topics that are covered on the online slides but not presented in the class. Similarly, you will find also questions in quizzes that talk about topics covered in class but not on the online slides. That's why we cannot stress this enough. You need to attend or watch lectures as well as go over the online slides to be able to answer the quiz's questions accurately. Simply doing only one of them won't be enough. For the assignments, there will be assignment 0, which is released before the start of the semester, and other 4 assignments which will be released during the semester. As of the time of this recording, I hope all of you have started homework 0. If you didn't, I urge you to start immediately as this homework was designed to prepare you for the course material. Homework 1 to 4 will be actual neural network exercises, in which they will be testing your understanding of certain concepts of the course and your ability to implement them. Assignments 1 to 4 will have 2 parts. For part 1, the problems you are solving will be auto-graded according to deterministic solution. Therefore, you must upload your solution to AutoLab for grading. In addition, the part 1 will have mandatory questions that you must attempt and bonus ones that you have the option to do or not. Note that the bonus questions will not contribute to the final grading curve. They are there to give you the opportunity to make up for points you have missed elsewhere. As for part 2 of these assignments, they will be open problems posted on Kaggle, where we will provide you with large datasets and you have to design models and compete with your classmates. More details about this will be discussed soon, so bear with me. The goal of having part 1 of these assignments is to examine your ability to implement neural networks functionalities on your own from scratch without using any third-party packages. The hope is that if you complete all mandatory and optional questions of part 1 of all assignments, then you will have all the necessary components to build your own little neural network toolkit, which we call it MyTorch. As I said before, it's worth noting that part 1 of these assignments are auto-graded, which means you need to be very careful when following the instructions given in the write-ups. The reason being is that the autograder is designed on a computer that has specific version of various packages. Therefore, your implementation must conform to their restrictions. Otherwise, it is highly likely that the autograder will fail and give you errors or 0 marks. This will unfortunately be the case even if you have your code functioning without errors in your own computer. So please be careful when you read the write-up and write your code. The objective of doing part 2 of each assignment is to evaluate your ability to solve complex problems on real-world datasets. We will give you different type of datasets. Some of them will be images, while others will be speech. Each part 2 will be an open problem posted on Kaggle. You have to design your own model and submit your test results to compete with your classmates. All of your scores will be presented in a leaderboard. Couple days before the deadline, we will post performance cutoffs for A, B, C, and D. Let's say if your test score achieved the posted performance for C, you then will at least get a C in this problem. Note that if you score higher than the A cutoff, then you will get a full mark on this problem plus a bonus. So always try to design a more robust model to get the A+. In this part, we will linearly interpolate your Kaggle score between grade cutoffs to determine your final score in the assignment. In terms of homework deadlines, there will be multiple deadlines for each assignment. You have a deadline for part 1, which is the auto-graded deterministic part, and multiple deadlines for part 2, which is the Kaggle part. The Kaggle component has an initial submission deadline. It also has a full submission deadline before which your final submission must happen to be eligible for full marks and bonus. That's in case if you get A+. The last deadline for part 2 is called drop dead deadline, which you have to submit before to be eligible for any marks, given that after that deadline the solution will be released. We have the initial deadline to force you to look at the problem early on and avoid starting the last 2 days before the final submission. Because if you just start couple days before the deadline, it will be highly unlikely to make it before the full submission deadline. In terms of the assignments late policy, every one of you will have up to 7 total slack days applicable to all parts, though you cannot use them for part 2 initial submission deadline and homework 0. You have the liberty to distribute them across your homeworks. Note that if you are using slack days for Kaggle, then you become ineligible for the A+ bonus. Once you run out of your slack days, then all late submission will have a 10% penalty on top of any other penalties. Keep in mind that we will not accept more submissions after the drop dead deadline. Also, it is worth noting that Kaggle Leaderboard will stop showing updates on full submission deadline. However, we will continue accepting submission privately until the drop dead deadline. For more details about all the course policies, please take a moment and see the course website. For the course project, any of you who are enrolled into the graduate level course, that is 11-685, 785, 786, will be required to do a course project. The course project is ideally done by a team of 4 students. We will not allow more than 5 or less than 2 students in a team. I highly recommend that you form your teams earlier. The objective of the project is to give you the opportunity to exercise your knowledge and skills to implement ideas beyond those given in the assignments. The course project can be research-specific problems that could potentially lead to a publication if carried out properly. It can be implementing and verifying results of cutting-edge solutions from recent papers, or it can be proposing new learning algorithms, techniques, or models as long as it is properly evaluated. Basically, any project idea that interests you and fits the course scope, you are encouraged to do. But you need first to consult with your mentor who will be assigned to you. The timeline presented here for the course project is not finalized. However, it would give you a good idea of how to plan for your project throughout the semester. By the first week of October, you should know your team members. If not, we will team you up randomly. The course project has several deliverables, so you need to keep them in mind and plan your team efforts accordingly. First, you will submit the project proposal by the second week of October. It is very important to form your group and think about the project potential ideas early on. Once you do that, you will have about a month before you submit the project midway report by the first week of November. Also, each team will have to submit a full report 3 days before the presentation due dates, so your classmates can read about your project before they see your presentation. Towards the end of the semester, you will have to create a 5-minute video presentation about your project, which can be presented by one team member, some or all team members. It's worth mentioning that the presentation will be evaluated by the course instructor, TAs, and your classmates. So it is imperative to address the problem, explain how you solve it, and how you evaluate your solution clearly. Also, you must allocate enough time to make the video presentation. It is not as easy as you may think, because poor presentation can significantly affect your project score even if you managed to successfully fix a very difficult problem. Once you are done with the presentation, then you will have to submit a final full report, which will give you a chance to fix some of the issues people have pointed out when reviewing your presentation. We will post templates for proposals and reports that you can use. Each team will be assigned a mentor from the TAs who will be responsible to monitor your progress and assist you if you need help when possible. We will post more details about the project evaluation logistics towards the end of the semester. Typically, the project is considered the most fun part of the course. For the course grading, your weekly quizzes will be worth 24% of the total grade. Remember, we will only consider the best 12 quizzes. In terms of assignments, homework 0 will be worth 1%, while all 4 assignments will be worth 12.5%. In total, your assignments will be worth more than half of the course grade, so make sure you perform very well on those. Finally, the term project will be worth 25% of the course grade. We have not determined the percentage of each deliverable yet, so make sure you perform well on each one of them. In case you encountered issues and could not complete your project, We have planned for a fifth assignment to be released as a makeup. However, it is case by case situation, so it is not guaranteed that you would be eligible to do homework 5 to make up for your project. Also, it is worth noting that if you get approved to do homework 5, it will only be worth 60% of the full project score, and we will be released the homework 5 after the project deadline. Note that you will either get scored for homework 5 or your project, not both. To ensure that you are prepared for the course, you have to keep in mind that this course is implementation heavy. You will be writing many lines of code and doing several experiments. Also, you will be dealing with large datasets. We recommend you to use Python as your programming language and PyTorch as your toolkit. Also, you are welcome to choose others if you prefer, but the TAs will not be able to help you with coding or homework. I really hope you have gone through Recitation 0 and Homework 0 to understand what is expected from you in this course and to have some programming fundamentals in place. Regarding teamwork, some studies suggest that teamwork do indeed directly improve an individual's ability to learn and perform. Socially shared cognition and transactive memory are some of the terms used to describe groups working together on an intellectual task. You will most likely learn from each other than you will learn from us. That's why we highly encourage you to do teamwork. However, there are strict rules that you must follow, which I will be talking about in seconds. By now, most of you have come across the study group announcements that we made in Piazza. However, we only have few people who are registered for study groups. Please, you need to form study groups because if you do not form on your own, we will form one for you. As a study group, you are encouraged to discuss homework problems and solutions, talk about relevant papers, and have discussions about quizzes and classwork. We highly encourage you to meet regularly and have discussions about neural network work. All of these activities will help you understand, discuss, and teach neural networks ideas and concepts to one another. You also can have your team projects formed from the study group. However, there are things you are not permitted to do as a study group. For instance, you must not solve quizzes together as a study group. Each student must solve their quizzes by themselves. You are permitted to discuss the problems with your study groups or friends, but when you solve the quiz, you should isolate yourself and do it alone. The same applies for assignments. Each assignment must be done individually by the student. You can discuss the problem with your study group or friends, but again, every line of code must be written by you, except for libraries that have been allowed by the course staff. It is your assignments, so the solution must be yours. If you plagiarizing code from your friend or from the web, this will be considered cheating. Also, if you submit a code that is not obtained by you, it will be considered cheating. We have zero tolerance policy when it comes to cheating. You are here to learn deep learnings by yourself. Your knowledge and skills that have obtained throughout the semester are the ones are being evaluated, not your friends. If you are struggling or have issues and feel that you are not progressing, please let us know. We are here to help guiding you through the course and make you successful in your studies and careers. Besides, you are at CMU, which means you are among the brightest and best students in the world. It will be an insult to yourself and everything you ever stood for to start cheating now. It is not worth it, and you will lose the reward of accomplishing by yourself such course. In case you do not know if something you are doing considered cheating or not, check with us. In terms of mentoring, study groups will be assigned mentors who will be tracking your progress and reach out to you if you are struggling. As I said before, if you are struggling and feel your progress is very slow, reach out to your TA mentor and or Professor Peksha. Please reach out when you feel pressured or unable to cope. We will try to help you as much as we can. Our ultimate goal in this course is to make it successful for all of you. From previous years, everyone who performed well enough got an A. And without compromising our standards, we want to guide you all to reach a point where you deserve an A. Now I will be talking about the challenges. To motivate you and make sure that you have the right expectations for this course, I will tell you this. This course is not easy and requires a lot of work. It will sometimes make you sleepless and stay up all night. It will sometimes make you under stress and anxious around the deadlines. This course will make you spend endless number of hours working on the assignments, handling stupid bugs all night, and even scratching your eyes out. However, it is carefully designed to ensure that it's doable. Each semester, almost 60% of students got some flavor of A, and they absolutely deserved it. Again, quizzes are there to test your understanding of topics, and assignments are to teach you how to implement complex networks. The target of this course is to ensure that anyone who gets A will be technically ready for a deep learning job. Once again, please go through Recitation 0 videos and do Homework 0. They are designed for you to make sure that you gain comfort with the coding fundamentals required in the subsequent assignments. We also included many components in Homework 1 Part 1 which will significantly help you later in the course. Please bear with it, even if it seems a bit dense. I assure you it's worth it. By the way, just a quick motivation, Homework 1 is the easiest homework among the four, so enjoy. If you have any questions regarding the things covered in this lecture or in general about the course, please post on Piazza. I wish you the best of luck in this semester.